We have our good dear friend on today, Dr. Meda Montana. Give it up.
I come from back in the days when music was real music.
How does someone who's so behind the scenes, because you've been behind the scenes for 30 years and you could have been in the front of the scenes.
The reason why I said, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and do Love and Hip Hop is because I've been behind the scenes and I've been trying to do it the right way. And people don't wanna listen, they don't wanna hear, they don't wanna give you a break until they see you on TV. She seeked me out, I would say, to be my friend. I ended up being friends with her for years. I ended up finding out that she was sleeping with my husband.
Your history is not something that we could ever take away. It is your past. It doesn't define your present.
Everybody deals with healing a different kind of way. My healing was that when me and him broke up, I had to pick up my life and figure out how to survive.
I'm busy loving myself, putting me first. Now that I know I deserve more, I'm busy loving myself, putting me first. Made up my mind, I'm on my grind. My time to shine, you hit my line. I press decline, no time for that, I'm moving forward and right now. You're in my past, I've come too far to turn back now. Not going back, I see that everybody's sleeping on me. They really gotta see it to believe.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of I Love Me More, podcast, breaking free from toxicity.
Hey.
I'm Tara Wallace, and this
I'm
is
Dr. Jamila T.Davis.
Absolutely. Guys, today is going to be another amazing show. But first, before we get there, how are you?
I am well, sis. And you know, they said before we ain't planned it, but today we planned this a little bit, and I'm looking over there.
We just clashing with the pink and red. It's consistent, you know. Girls like pink, red for the heartbeat.
And for us, for real, like this is the affirmation that we're living by. We standing on it. You know how people say stuff, but they don't really stand on it. We standing on this truth, and this truth is that I love me more. So it's all about self-care. It's all about healing. It's all about loving ourselves more than we love anybody else except for God, right? And really, really, really caring for ourselves, because what we learn through this journey is that your mental health and wellness are directly related, right? So if we don't have oxygen for ourselves, we can't be putting oxygen on other people, and then we ended up dead, right? So we got to care for ourselves. We got to love on ourselves. We got to transform ourselves.
And that's why this is so important, to create a space where you feel comfortable enough to be that transparent and share some of the, you know, the things that just aren't so pretty, so that people know not just that this is real, but also for yourself.
Baby, I can talk about me all day, but what's up with you?
Look, you know, just for me, this journey of toxicity has now, I start thinking about how it has affected my children, right? And so I try to be open and honest. I try to talk about it. I'm the kind of mom that when I do things, I like to go back and apologize. Especially with your oldest child, right? I think the oldest, they're more your friend. They've been with you the longest. They've seen you when you were a different person, when you were first entering motherhood. And so I find myself, especially with my oldest son, apologizing, letting him know just certain things, why it's so hard for me with him. You know, it's hard for me to watch him do things on his own. I want to take over and make life easy because I don't want him to bump his head. I don't want him to hurt himself. I don't want him to struggle. And I can't let go with him in ways that I can with my other children.
That's deep.
And so I find myself apologizing a lot, making sure he understands that everything that I go through it first with you. It's new. I have more time to think about it with your brother, so I may handle things differently. So I think, you know, we've had different guests on here, and how some of the things they've been through, they've affected, how it has affected their children. So I think owning that, to make sure that my children, so we're not carrying over generational curses. They understand, they have the knowledge, they also have the tools, they also see me working. So
that's good. So you're actually saying you're learning from our guests, and I'm learning from our guests too, right?
Yes.
And now just applying it to your life. So when you talk about children and relationships, you know, my children, the relationship with them is so crazy because, again, I went to prison when they was 9 and 11. And I returned home until they was 18 and 21. And my son, he was just happy for me to come home. What I shared with you before, like from behind, the wall, we was, doing social media posts, creating things together, helping him with his clothing line. And that was good. But then with my daughter, it wasn't that easy because she really resented me. She needed her mama, and her mama wasn't there, and she wasn't enamored by that like my son was. He just cared about his mama's love. So what has been challenging over the years is us actually learning how to heal that.
Okay.
How to deal with that. And it was a real place because I knew that my daughter had the ability to hurt my soul. So even with that, because I knew she wasn't healed and I knew she had resentment, that I had to kind of keep boundaries up until we got ready to get to this healing process. So now that we're in a place that we could kind of just come, share, and love on each other, that was our healing, So everybody's journey is different, and kids are definitely important. And our toxicity is definitely that leads to a direct result of their trauma and potentially toxic lifestyles that we've seen the cycle. So we got to definitely be the ones to break the cycle. So not only do we got to get these tools, we got to give these tools to our children. We got to teach our babies how to love themselves more, how to set boundaries, how to practice self-care, right? How to have tools for when they're going through emotions and problems and situations. We got to give them this. That's why our community, BlackWomen'sLivesMatter.com, is so important, because none of us get a manual on how to be a parent, right?
Absolutely.
How to be even a wife or a great sister or whatever it is. But when we are able to unite in community and share the real truths of our situations, we actually learn and hear from each other.
Right. Absolutely. These, these experiences are not in vain. We're all learning.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm learning more and more, and baby, I'm journaling. I'm learning from y'all, from some of the comments y'all leaving and the question and answering session. It's just been real. It's just been real. Speaking of real,
the love seat. Who's sitting in the love seat?
Together, because it all goes down on the love seats. Baby, our next guest, who we both know.
Yeah.
Okay. She is here today, and so we got seen her on TV, and baby, we about to talk about some real. You know how we give it up. We raw and uncut over here.
Yeah.
So we just gonna talk. We gonna heal. We just gonna feel. It's definitely gonna be dope. So before we get into it, and make sure you stay for the whole episode.
Yes.
Like and subscribe, baby, because this is one you're not gonna want to miss. But you see this beautiful place and all this beautifulness. We got to make sure we pay the bills. And hold on, speaking of the bills, but y'all see y'all new t-shirts and the new colors, right? I love green more, period. Make sure you get those. You can get those too at BlackWomen'sLivesMatter.com. And now let's go pay some bills. Sponsor, what you got to say? Hello, friends. It's your girl, Dr. Jamila T.Davis, and I have a special announcement. We are finally opening up the Black Women's Lives Matter community. So what does that mean in real time? We can fellowship with you. We have this platform that we're giving to you for absolutely free. And it's a place where you can learn from other Black women just like you. And we're going to be learning real things, speaking to experts about finances, relationships, fashion, makeup, parenting. You name it, we got it in the community. It's a place that we can fellowship and also heal. We're also going to be having therapy in the community. There's a lot of things that we need to talk about to get off our chest, and we're going to do it in a safe place where we can learn from experts about how to maximize our potential and become the best us that we can possibly be. So what does this mean? It's time to click the link in our bio and join today. It is absolutely free. It costs you nothing and it will grow you so much, I promise you. So meet me in the community. You get to actually work with me this year. I'm going to be doing some one-on-ones. I'm going to be doing some group work, and it's all about leveling up. Meet me in the community. I'll see you soon. And y'all already know what it is. It's going down. So, guys, we are back with our next guest, and y'all already know if you visited this podcast before, you are in for a treat. We have our good dear friend on today, Dr. Meda Montana. Give it up.
Welcome to the podcast, Meda.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I am blessed. You know, if I could say it in one word, I'm blessed. I'm happy I woke up this morning. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be amongst people I love and haven't seen in a minute. Yeah. So, I mean, all that's a blessing.
I love that.
So, who are you? Because I could talk about you. I could call you all kind of things. Because you know that all types of roles and titles.
Yes.
I've met you, but I will call you a sister and my friend and my colleague in this work who's doing amazing things. But let me let you introduce yourself properly so you can tell our viewers a little bit about who you are and what you currently do.
So I am a mother, a sister. I do have my PhD.
Yes, so Dr. Meda, put some respect on her name.
I come from the music industry, probably about 30 years in now.
It's crazy.
Even though I'm only 28. You know, I come from back in the days when music was real music. Pew, pew. You know, loud records, Wu-Tang, Mobb Deep, Bad Boy Records, Puff, Big, Maze, Total, Interscope Records, Black Eyed Peas, Maya, Eminem, Rough Riders, SRC, Motown, Universal, David Banner, Wu-Tang again, Melanie Fiona.
Just reciting a mood or tone. Explain the names of all these people. You dropping them. Why?
I worked on all these people, probably 50 plus something artists or albums that I've worked on over the years.
Is that crazy? Now, what exactly did you do on those albums?
I have done everything in the music industry. I've done promotions. I've done management. I've done A&R, which is artists and repertoire, for those of you who do not know. I have done marketing. I have done product management, product marketing. I have done... production, anything music, I've done it.
So when we talk about the plaques that's in your house, huh?
You know what's crazy? I have 2 plaques in my house from 2 white boys, Eminem and Asher Roth. Not one black artist made sure I had a plaque.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, wow.
2 white boys that I work with, Eminem and Asher Roth, those are the only 2 people that I got plaques from.
Baby, I thought that the whole house was filled.
I do need to chase those, because that's something that I need to have.
Yeah, you work for that. That's
That made you just working and not stopping. You're not even thinking about it.
But you know what? I say to people, I'm not a braggadocious type of person, but I did do work when work was on paper.
All right.
So I have receipts for all these other people that's out there that just say they do stuff.
No, you're like, here's a receipt. Hand me my plaque.
The receipt. So now we talked about the artist, right? What else are you doing? Because this is just a little bit of it.
I have my production company, Wonder Woman Productions. I am also currently on TV, doing reality, doing some movies, some TV shows. When I graduated high school, in high school, I took up film and TV. I went to college for film and TV. And that was always my love, but I kind of got pulled in with the music industry and forgot about my love, so it took a backseat. And now I'm at that age where I'm just like making that list and checking it twice. Like, I have helped make everybody's life what they wanted it to be. And now I need to put the energy into making my life what I want it to be. And so I'm picking everything up that I dropped for somebody else.
Oh, wow.
I love me more. You let me, baby, since you talking that talk over there. This is the affirmation that we're living by. I love me more, not you.
Yes.
Not your friend and them, and
yes.
not them and them.
Listen.
And this is a new color. None of our other guys. You the first
one.
I love it. This is beautiful.
I mean, that's something big that you just said, though. You know, you've helped so many people achieve in their careers in such a way. And, you know, you're at a point, because I mean, when do people get to that point? Sometimes people never get to that point.
Yeah.
They want to just identify themselves by what they do for other people.
I think I got to the point when, well, first of all, let me say this. There was a point in my life where I was feeling bitter that all the people that I helped never looked back on me, never seen if I was okay, if I was eating, if my child ate some food, if my mother was okay. They just took the boost that I gave them and kept on trucking, right? But then I got to a point in my life where I realized that God put me here to provide, right? And that was my blessing, to give and not to wonder about what was coming back to me, because I got blessed in other ways. And so when I got to the point where I wasn't worried about what they thought or what they were doing to me or how I felt about how they were treating me, I got to the point where I had to start loving me and putting me first. And I got to the point where I said, I'm only getting older and time is of the essence. So if I don't go into the ground knowing that I did everything I wanted to do, which includes me, then I'm going to be unhappy about that, and I need to make a change now.
No more regrets. Right? See, that's another thing. You know, that's the next shirt, y'all. We going to do that. No more regrets. Because this is the thing. If you do for everybody and don't do for yourself, you're going to have regrets. Because I coulda, shoulda, woulda. You're going to be bitter, angry. You ain't fulfilling your purpose because you're helping everybody else fulfill theirs. That ain't a good place to be.
Exactly.
I've been there. So I'm loving the, you know, it's me season for you.
Yes.
Doing all of that. Well, honey, let's just talk about some things.
Okay.
I looked up what this is one of my most distinguished friends, doctor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Doctor Mia. Okay. Like she said, I'm a PhD, and I watched you. Remember when you was at the Phoenix online school when back in the day? I'm talking about this is before online was online.
Yes.
She was going to get her, and she was dead serious. I got to pump like your whole life. And I wasn't even on it. This is way before me. I even thought about getting on it. She was on it, right? And now it's so crazy because, hold on, I got to go all the way back, right?
Okay.
So Meda is actually my daughter Diamond's godmother. Okay. I'm not talking about, you know how people say that's gonna get God money. No, I'm talking about in front of the priest. This is the christening. This is yes.
Okay.
So we go way back like that.
Okay.
Okay. And I seen her and I watched her evolve, and I watched her go through so much. And I'm talking about toxic. Ooh, baby, we gonna get this. Because baby, I'm talking about, you know, and we can only learn from people who are willing to keep it real and talk about it. And I watched it. And so to see her here now, I'm like, wow. But I ain't going to front. We didn't even get to really talk all the way about this. And I know, so I'm no shade to the brand, but y'all have both been cast members of Love and Hip Hop. And I mean, nothing wrong with Love and Hip Hop. You know, shout out to, you know, Meda Montana. I love the brand. You know, I watched it. I told you, I binge watched it. But I would never dream in 1,000,006 years, okay, that Meda would be on Love and Hip Hop. But I mean, that wasn't even the kicker for me. The storyline was there. Baby, do I get the
No, you should, because I felt like that when I was like, wait a minute, did I miss something?
And I'm talking about so distinguished. So even though we not talking about...
Well, not just because I don't necessarily know your story, but I used to see her where I used to work. And, you know, there are a few women that would come in that just had this thing. And I'm like, who's that woman? So I would always make it my business to try to get to know them and make sure that when we as Black women come to a nice restaurant, we're taken care of like everybody else. And you start seeing these faces and you want them to know, like, you bring your clients here, you come here, you're going to have a good time. I'm going to take care of you. You have nothing to worry about. So she was one of those women.
That's crazy.
And, you know,
full circle.
Yes, it was like, and then I think I may have mentioned to her, like, I think I'm going to be doing this show, but I don't quite know what. So once I found out, you know, when everything happened, you know, and some time had passed, and I'm watching TV, VH1, and I see her, and I'm like, wait a minute. Oh,
but we both had the same feeling because like I said, I'm watching it and I'm like, oh my God, Tara Nasha. And everybody's like, who's Tara Nasha? And I'm like, Tara's on the show, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then she said she felt the same way. Like she looked up one day and was like, what is going?
I was like, wait a second. We didn't even talk about it. You know, I keep real raw because I don't even talk beforehand. We just don't know it. So I know my friend, okay? And my friend is a distinguished person. And then I see the storyline with you and Young Jock and his wife and the side chick and the beep with the... I said, what the F is going on? And then Diamond... Right? Because remember, I told you my baby,
yes,
this is her godmother for real in real life. She said, Mommy. And when she watched every episode, I bet you she did that. Mommy, what's going on with Auntie? I said, I don't know. So talk to us and tell us, how did you get on? What happened with you on the show? When did you finally say, let me try this out?
So they had, came at me to do the storyline with Jock and his girl at the time. I didn't really know about her. As I stated, I don't have cable, and I watched it in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Once it started to get to a certain point, I didn't have cable no more. I wasn't watching TV like that. So I don't know about her.
She's writing a dissertation.
I'm writing a dissertation, right?
Gotta throw that in there.
And then again, I know I got so much love for Jock, but at the same time, there's Angela, Keisha, Jackie, Renee, we can keep going. Exactly, right? So if somebody say to me, oh, he's dating a Kendra, that doesn't ring a bell to me because I also heard about a Jackie and a Renee. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I didn't take it no type of way until people were like, oh, well, I think he's serious with this one. But all that time, me and him still were, when I would go to Atlanta or he would come to New York, we would get up. And now I had dated Jock since 2008. Mm-hmm. So technically I was there before. So all of them. I was there first.
Your boobs.
I was there first, right?
You was there first, so
I'll leave when I'm ready.
Right, I was there first. But see, the only difference was that I had left already.
Yeah.
By the time we got to it, because by the time COVID happened and all of this stuff, so the storyline didn't get to play out how it needed to. So by the time we did tape, I was already gone at this point, but I did exist. And so my point to this whole thing was, but I existed. You understand what I'm saying? And they wanted to call me a side chick and all these things. And I'm like, how I could be a side chick? I would have to know about you. He would have to come tell me about you for me to be a side chick.
Right.
If he's telling me that he still want to be with me and want to marry me and want me to move down here, I can't be a side chick. Mm-hmm. Like that's something that you want to make up to make me.
I wasn't ready. Somebody needed to give me a discord because first of all, I wasn't expecting to see you on the show. But if I saw, loving hip hop, I said, okay, hip hop, she's going to be on the show because
of hip hop.
Because she's really a credible production person in hip hop.
Right.
But not the side chick. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Baby,
yeah, that word. Everybody uses so
throw it out like they know what it means.
Yeah, it's just so.
Or like they haven't been in the position because now I'm going at it on with all these fans. That's like, oh, you a side chick, and I'm like, and you still won. Like now you got to go at it with the fans.
Because you've always been so behind. So how does someone who's so behind the scenes? Because you've been behind the scenes for 30 years, and you could have been in the front of the scenes. So how do you go?
I got the answer for that right there. So the reason why I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do Love and Hip Hop is because I've been behind the scenes and I've been trying to do it the right way and get to the point where I need to get. And people don't want to listen. They don't want to hear. They don't want to give you a break until they see you on TV.
Oh, wow.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Now I got doors open. Now I can have meetings. Now people want to talk to me. Now people want to hear what I have to say. People want to work with me. But when I was doing everything that I needed to do and working my butt off and working 24 hours a day and 7 days a week, nobody cared because they didn't see me on TV.
That happened to me. I mean, I would be at work and people telling me all day, oh, I know you're an actor. I filmed this thing all weekend. I did that. They would never ask me to do a thing. The moment I did TV, they're calling me, texting me. I'm like, you've known me for years. You knew that I was an actor. You've never asked for me to audition for anything.
Exactly.
You guys have a similar experience.
Yes. And so there comes a point where you got to be like, okay, I tried it this way. Right. Now let me try it that way.
Okay. Baby, you did it. Because I just was like, some episodes I was just sitting at the TV and I wanted to call. So I'm your friend, but I didn't even talk to you because I had no, because my question was going to be like, what the fuck? Like, what? So I'm sure you had a lot of people saying the same because they never expected.
Yeah, and
you
then
didn't see it coming.
Another reason why, because I had been toying with the idea of people asking me, did I want to do it, reality for a couple years. And I knew that I was in a place before, and you know this, where I was angry and fighting a lot and just going through it. And I felt like, okay, if I go on reality TV now where people are still touching each other, I'm gonna hit somebody and it's gonna be bad.
No, they know what you did.
Yeah.
So that's a whole nother thing. So let's go back, because today's conversation is really about toxic relationships and breaking free. And I feel like you are a freedom fighter and that you have broke free from a series of toxic relationships. So I want to go into them because people only know you now, because they still don't. The other sad part to this is you do have the notoriety, but they think of you as the woman that was Spice's friend / now Carly Red's, because I don't even know what happened. I don't even ask you what happened. I don't know if you still like, that was crazy on TV, because then you got in the tug of war with the friendships, and because that show, it's a lot of ladies on that show, right? So they know you from all of these things, but I don't even.
But they don't know me.
Know who you really are.
No, they don't know.
So that's the only part about that that's kind of funny, because you got the fame and the notoriety, but then people don't really understand. Like before reality TV, before there was any Instagram, before there was anything, you was that chick, And so,
and like you said, when it was on paper. Yeah, when people actually believed in working hard and grinding,
putting the work in.
Yeah.
Now people are overnight stars, so
it's the truth. So I get it, and I understand your why. So thank you for explaining that, and you didn't have to. So thank you for sharing. But you are my daughter's godmother, but her godfather is your ex-husband. And the crazy part is, I don't even think people know that that's your ex-husband. Do that.
I was married.
Baby, so what you done erased that part? We ain't talking about that no more. What happened? Y'all laughing, what happened? So do you, no, seriously. So in your interviews and they talk to you, do they know?
Never bring it up. I never bring it up.
So nobody knows.
No.
Baby, y'all know today. No, period. Okay, you're getting all of the heat. She's not the side chick, okay? She's not Spice's, Carly Red's friend and all of that. That's new stuff. This lady, before basketball was, right? Yeah. Before any of the things, this lady, and I'm gonna respect your privacy, was married to a world champion, a boxing world-renowned legend. I guess he probably is in history books with the boxing thing now, as far as the records and the things that he had.
Sure.
Sure. Don't keep it out. So, and I think he could admit it too, because that's still my brother.
I want you to go back to that, but I want to just say this, right? When you go to the spa, right, and you want to get the toxin out of you, what do? You sweat so that it comes out of your pores, right? And do you pick the toxin back up and put it in a cup and take it back home with you?
No, you don't.
Right. So when it's gone, it's just gone.
No, but you know what's really gone?
Damn, I never thought about
it. But look, because I had a conversation with you, baby. I don't know if you see that episode yet, but I had a friend, Aisha, and we had it. But let me explain something to you. You know that you're really healed when you can talk about the person and it doesn't even feel like anything anymore. So it's nothing. It's like you can have the conversation because your history is not something that we could ever take away, right? It is your past. It doesn't define your present. It's just like me being in prison. It doesn't define me, but I can't act like I never went, because then that's not true, right? So even with your ex, right? And because I'm gonna respect your privacy, we're not gonna say who he is, but you did a lot of work there too. And a lot of his success early on has something directly to do with you too. So I feel like if you erase that part of history, then you also erase part of the success that is connected to you. And some of the success includes your daughter, because your daughter is his daughter.
Yes, that is correct.
So what do we do with that?
She still is my daughter.
And so he's still your ex-husband?
Oh, yes. Definitely somewhere in the courtroom, they have that on paper.
Wow. So you really there with it, like it laughing? But since that's really a real place with you, you don't speak to him at all?
No, I do not.
Yeah.
So have you healed from that?
Everybody deals with healing a different kind of way. You know, my healing was that when me and him broke up, I had to pick up my life and take my daughter and move on with my life and figure out how to survive. And that I did.
Because you know what? You're in a place that some woman is in right now. You know, and I feel like the sharing, because it's also going to be probably healing because nobody knows. So nobody's talking to you and asking you the question. So we partying and we did, but we not really getting down and dirty dealing with some of the real stuff. Because watching y'all relationship, which was a very toxic one, really showed me what goes on in a lot of lives of celebrities and entertainers. So you remember before I went in, I was always a behind the scenes person. I had money, I had prestige, but I was in front of the scenes, so folks didn't know me, but folks knew you and him.
Right.
You know? And in front of the cameras, baby, they was the thing. You sitting, the cameras would roll and they would do their numbers and they was good and the world thought that this was the happy relationship. But I was also there. It's okay.
Yeah, good.
It was all for the cameras almost, right? The good times were for the cameras and then the hell was happening in the house.
I mean, I think a part of it is that you put so much into a person. And as women, me being younger, as women, we put everything we have into the man. We're going to put our job to the side. We're going to put making money. We're going to put everything to the side so that our man can be okay.
Yes.
And at the time, I think I was in a great space in my life, in my work life. And I was able to do a lot to help. He had the skill, but I was able to do a lot to push him forward as a brand.
Okay.
And Let's
talk about some of that, because you had connections to him. Baby, hold on. Y'all already know I come in here with these cute shoes on, but I'm about to take these off again, honey, because we're going to talk about some stuff. So let's get into it. How did you do that thing? Tell them about that, because that was before it was a thing.
Yeah, so because I worked at the time I worked at Bad Boy, and I was like Puff's right hand. So I had the ability of all these artists, from, you know, the Jays to the Timberlands to the Nas's, like it was to the point where you had to call me or get to me to get to Puff. If you were a magazine or something, you know, they would, if the marketing department couldn't get to him, they would call me. Certain people would call me on their own. And I was coming up at that point.
You said his name? Okay, I ain't say it, but you said it. Go ahead.
And the man was coming up at that time, and I was able to use my leverage of the seat that I was in.
Right.
So if you called me for something, I would say, well, I need something done for him.
Right. Okay.
Can you put him in a magazine? Can you put him in a video? Can you put some clothes on him? Can you say his name in this? Can you, you understand what I'm saying? And I use that leverage.
Okay.
And I felt like I poured everything that I had into him, every breath, every DNA, every blood, every drip, everything. And I just wasn't ready to give that up to let somebody else get all the work that I did.
Yeah.
And the women, the women was coming because he was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, he was getting money, you know, to come from nothing to getting all of this money. People are noticing you when you go out to the clubs. And mind you, he didn't really even go to the clubs like that. I was the person that was known. I knew the bouncers. I knew the club owners. I knew all the artists, and I would take him and introduce him. So some say I have created a monster or whatever. But at some point, he took it, I felt like he took it beyond that. And, you know, the women were coming. They were coming and coming and coming. And I just felt like I'm not leaving my man because he cheated. And a lot of women would look at me and be like, that's crazy, because if my man cheat, I'm leaving him. And I'd be like, you a whole lie.
Yeah.
You ain't leaving. You know what I'm saying? Like this, he had other babies. I still ain't leave.
Okay, hold on. Let's talk about that. Because we got to flow up. Because y'all got to get to understand the realness of this. This is what they not going to do. So her daughter, my little baby, is how old?
She 22 now.
Okay, and she got 2 sisters that's how old?
22.
Did y'all hear that? So the man, while he was married to you, had 2 other babies the same year with 2 other women who you didn't know. Now, how did you find out?
One, the DNA. Well, one, I went to a club with him and a woman was yelling outside like, I'm sending you to jail. I don't care. You a deadbeat. Da-da-da-da. And he looked at me and he was like, I feel sorry for the man she talking about.
No.
And then I found the DNA. It fell out of his coat, the DNA test. And yeah, it fell out of his coat when I was cleaning. Typical Lifetime movie.
Wow.
And the second one, she called me on the phone and was like, oh, you know, I'm having a baby for so-and-so. And, you know, I wanted to know, did you have complications when you were pregnant? Because, you know, I want to know, you know, like what's like, really? Like, what are we talking about right now?
What are we talking about?
So, Tara, y'all got a little something
Yes,
coming on.
yes.
So when you see her and how did you feel about her storyline?
That's why I said I was literally watching Tara on TV and I was feeling every single thing that she was going through, because again, I've always been a quiet, humble, not talk about my business type of person. So nobody knew what I was going through. My mama didn't know. My sister didn't know. You were there, so you seen some of it. But none of my friends, none of my family know what I went through in that situation.
Okay, huh?
So when people see him, they still love him because they don't know. Because I never spoke about it. Never did a book. Never did a tell-all.
Wait, hold on. Is this the first time you speaking about it?
Probably, yeah.
Baby. Are you serious?
Yeah, I've told you I don't talk about
I
him.
told you this pink seat, sis, is something about the magic that happens in the pink seat, but not in a space for you to tell your business. It's really a place to heal. Because it's like who are you protecting? Did you feel like you was protecting him by holding it?
I felt like I was protecting my child by holding it. I didn't.
Well, hold on. She got 2 other sisters the same age by mamas. That's not you. So how you protecting her?
Because as a child, they don't see nothing but their sisters. They don't know what it comes from. They don't understand
But
that
they
it's.
understand at 22.
At 22, I'm able to have a conversation with her. But I'm just saying, at the time when she was growing up, I was protecting her. I was putting.
But you just went on TV on a storyline that's whatever, right? But you got this real story that's a Lifetime movie, and we ain't talking about that. So it's like I'm confused.
Because at the end of the day,
And I'm not talking about to bash him because
that's the only thing I could do. If I talk about it, it's a bash.
But I think that's what we do sometimes, like this, that is generational, which is, especially women of color, is like the way we compartmentalize certain things in our lives, especially things when we were in love, right? When that moment that you find yourself in love and it's bigger than you, it is very difficult to be a certain way in that. But when you are able to control the situation and you date people that perhaps you're not feeling the way you felt about him, right? It's you can control that because you know what you will do, what you won't do.
Right.
But when you're in love and you're accepting things that you probably would never accept, there's this level of, well, who am I? At 18, I said I would never deal with this. You know, you are that woman that says, I will never deal with a man cheating. The moment he cheats, I'm leaving. And then you find yourself in love and you're like, why is this so hard? I can't do this. And it comes with embarrassment, some level of shame. So I feel we compartmentalize that. We're able to do all these things, control everything else, and just hope that this will fall in line. Like, they will grow up. They will get better. This will turn into a happy ending. because of how you truly feel.
Yeah. And the things that people are going to want to talk about. I mean, yeah, you saw the good things. It's the bad things you didn't see. Mm-hmm. So for me to talk about it, I have to talk about the bad things. And so at this point, it almost feels like I'm talking about it and I'm tearing a Black man down on camera. You understand what I'm saying? So I was torn with just not saying nothing and acting like it doesn't exist. So then there's nothing to talk about, because if I do say something, then there's a bunch of people that's going to look at it like I'm tearing him down. Whether we want to say it like that and we would want to kumbaya it and heal from it, there's still a bunch of people that's going to be like, oh, dang, that's what they're going to get from it.
But it's also, to me, like that thing where they say, couples don't stay together like they used to, not knowing what our mothers and our grandmothers have endured for years and years and years.
And you will never know.
Well, so here goes the point to that, right? The only thing I can really compare it to is my incarceration. Mm-hmm. And I know for a while I didn't want anybody to know, I just was shame. But when I finally told my story, that's when my healing occurred. Mm-hmm. So hold on 1 second, just 1 second for me. Because I feel like I get you and I understand what you're saying and why you're saying it, and your reasoning for everything is so crisp and clear, but it's almost still like somebody's garbage is being held in your can. And you know how it is when you got garbage in the can and you go on vacation or something and you don't put the garbage out. So eventually the garbage in your can is kind of rolling over and it's stinking up the can, but it's not even your garbage. It's one thing if you ate the stuff and you messed up so you holding on to somebody else's garbage. How do you get free?
I'm free, baby. See, the difference between that situation and your incarceration is the incarceration was your incarceration. This is someone else's life that I have to talk about and tell. That person knows what they did, everything they did. They got to live with that, with God.
That's not even talking about what they did. I'm just talking about.
I'm free. I live so free. I'm happy. So much trauma. And I healed. And everyone heals differently, and and some people are forced to heal real quick because they got somebody looking up at them that says either you're gonna get it together or you're not gonna get it together. We're gonna survive or we're not gonna survive. And so I had to survive, and in order for me and my child to survive, that healing process had to come real quick.
Now my question is it healing or is it pushing everything to the side as if it didn't really happen?
It happened. It definitely happened. And I
know the thing is I can stand with your truth.
Right. Because you were there. But my whole point is I was able to use it to heal other women, not even women, to heal younger women and adolescent girls going through things, because I talk to a lot of foster home girls and group home girls, and there's a lot of people in life that use what they go through as a crutch. And I try to tell them that just because you're in that situation, I may look like I have a good life. My mother and father's together, they live together. I'm on TV, but I went through the same thing you went through, if not worse. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? And so I'm not using that as a crutch. I chose to move on with my life. And I am a very happy person and a very sane person. And I'm stress-free. I love my life. And so if I could wake up every day, no stress, and love my life, that's my healing right there. I don't got to hold on to something that's going to continue to bring me down and bring somebody else down while I'm doing it.
I get it. And I hit you. But the crazy part to it is, the part that's so crazy with this is I know you. Right? So it's I hear you, and then it's I know you, right? And then we talk about patterns of how did you even get here? How did you stay here? And when did you know it was time to go? So let's go back first. How did you get here? And I wonder if, because you told me nothing is off limits, right? You told me we could talk about things. We could keep it all the way real.
Listen, right? One thing I learned in a relationship with a boxer is how to bob and weave.
Okay. So let's talk about your childhood growing up,
Uh-huh.
and a relationship of what you saw with your mom and your dad.
My mom and dad is still together. My mom and dad do not argue or fight. I've never seen them argue, fight. I never seen my dad lay a hand on my mother. And my mother is a tranquil person, and my father is a go-getter. My mother is a double master's in school, very educated and very smart. And my father is out there getting it. He got the paper and he was doing music. And so I am exactly the replica of half and half of my mother and father.
Okay. So I guess the reason why I asked you that is because you have sisters, right?
Mm-hmm.
That are not your mother and father.
Yes.
kids.
So my
That I
father.
just know.
Yes.
So that's why I just looking at it.
my father has 7 children, and my mom only has 2.
Okay.
And so I watched my mom help raise all of my father's children.
That's deep.
I watched my mom take all those kids in when they didn't have no place to go and was raising my sisters with me. I watched my mom allow my father to bring all of us together every weekend so that we was all raised together. And she's still with him to this day.
First of all, your mother's amazing. I love your mother. Just her heart, her genuineness, just her person is amazing. But again, are we going back to keeping it real? You watch this and you idolize and love your mother because she's an amazing person.
Right.
So now you're in a relationship
Right.
where now your relationship almost mimics in a certain instance,
Right.
not maybe some of the physical abuse and crazy stuff like that, but infidelity, that's allowed.
Right.
Do you think that's one of the reasons why when it happened, you're like, okay, maybe this is okay?
It could be because we're all a product of the environment that we was raised in. But even today, if that is the case, I'm not that big of an infidelity person because I feel like all men, it's infidelity is everywhere. So it's not my big thing. Everybody has their reasons why they're going to stay in what they could deal with, what they could put up with. That's not one of my things. So
when you find the love of your life, are you saying to me it's okay that he has other women?
I'm not saying it's okay I do not want them to have other women. I'm saying that it's something that if it comes on the table, we're going to deal with. I'm not pushing my man to have other women. Now, let me say this. When I find the love of my life,
Okay.
right,
Yes.
I don't know what I'm going to act like because I'm not there. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not going to sit here either and lie to you and tell you that I know what that feels like until I get there. But I can only tell you from my past experiences that infidelity has been something that I've seen from grandparents all the way on down. In every situation that I've seen in my life, there's been infidelity. So I don't know a situation that there isn't infidelity. So to me, it has become a norm.
That's my point. That's my point. So we talking about healthy relationships when we start seeing something that's not supposed to be normal, right? Become normal, then we accept it because this is our truth, right?
You can call it acceptance, right? I call it realization. There's a difference because I cannot.
I got my shoes. He can't go off no more. The shoes is off. I can't kick them no more.
Because I could sit here all day and tell you that I don't accept it. No, I don't accept it. Is that going to stop him from doing it because I don't accept it? And are you going to leave him because you don't accept it? So are we going to be really real with ourselves since we really being real? Or we want to sit with our friends and ill-advise each other and tell each other what we're not going to do when we end up doing it anyway?
And I teach my sons this. I'm like, as my 16-year-old, I'm like, as a man, you have to figure out what your code is, what you think is not okay, and that's what you have to live by. The other stuff will come. Like you will have to heal from things, bad things will happen. But who are you as a man?
But you said the cold word. You said, I tell my son, which means you are teaching your son. Not everybody has a teacher.
Right.
I grew up from growing up in Brooklyn and listening to the OGs and being around, older women. I still to this day live by a code.
Yeah.
Things I do and the way I act and the way I answer and the way I deal with the men in my life, I'm still a person. If I'm dating a man, I'm submissive. I just live by a certain code. But I was taught that. And there are people in this world that they were not raised the way we were raised. You understand what I'm saying? So what you think is right, they don't even know is wrong. I think I'm different as far as people are concerned. I know that you've seen me go through a lot of toxic friendships,
and we didn't even I got to see and check the time because we didn't even get into them. I remember the one girl was cloning you and doing everything like you. Just talk about her a little bit. We ain't gonna tell her no name.
She seeked me out, I would say, to be my friend. And I ended up being friends with her for years, and we did a lot of things together. And then I ended up finding out that she was sleeping with my husband. And she knew, but she didn't tell me.
Well, she
knew the whole time that she was with him while I was with him, but she acted like
But people would confuse them for each other because it was like the lady was cloning her.
Wow.
So it was sick because she was trying to be her, and I guess even trying to be with her man. It was just real sick.
Like I said, I've come a long way. And one thing after when I broke up with my child's father is I learned how to control.
Notice that she didn't say my ex-husband. She said child. I just want you to pay attention, but keep going.
I learned how to control my emotions because emotions rule the world, right?
But they're also not triggered and pulled in ways that's just
emotions rule the world.
unrealistic.
But we have had guests sit in the seat that you're sitting in whose bodies begin to break down because they was doing the same thing. They was trying to control their emotions and do what they got to do. And then their emotions came out inside their body. So that's a whole nother place as well. You had to hold so much. I feel like you carried people's weight so long. And I don't want to say that you're full of shit, but if I compared it to anything, inside, it would be full of crap.
Yes, I did carry a lot of people's shit for a long time, but I worked on myself. I didn't try to work on those people. I didn't care what they were doing. I worked on myself because if I can let go and move on with myself and work on my emotions and how I react to things and hold myself accountable for the people that I allowed in my life, then I will make better decisions. At the end of the day, if you're my friend and you're my friend and I choose to love you, then I got to know that I'm loving you with the faults that you come with. And it's a choice for me to continue being your friend. That is my accountability. I have the ability to say no. I do not want to be your friend. I do not want to be in a relationship with you. The fact that I stay, it's because I chose to stay here and love you for who you are. And now I cannot be mad when you act as who you are. You're being yourself. I just don't like who you're being right now, but you're being you. How am I gonna be mad at somebody that's being them? My choice is to either not mess with them or to continue and allow it.
So we talk about that because that's setting boundaries, right? And living by. So talk about your healing because you do say you've done a lot of healing work. What does your healing work look like?
My healing began the day that I put me first.
And what did that look like?
I wrote a lot of stuff down. When I broke up with again my child's father, I started to write my feelings down. So if I was angered or felt a certain type of way, I would write it down. And then when I would go back and look at it, it wasn't nothing that I wanted to say out loud. It was just something I needed to get out at the second.
So you're saying journaling was a good place.
Yes.
Journaling and writing was my healing too.
My phone, if I was dating someone and I wanted to cuss them out or whatever, I would just take a beat, write it down, and then I would be like, is this something that I want to say? Because you can't take back what you say. Is this how I want to be represented? From what I'm saying, especially if I'm dealing with the next guy who don't deserve the anger from the last guy. Did this really merit what I'm about to say to him? And when I would read it, I would be like, why? And I would just delete it. And so I wrote a book called Contract Wife, Contract Life. And it basically, it's like a 10-step guide that tells you how to deal with a man with a contract or a man of power or, men that we tend to fall for. And
is this out, Kim?
It's out. It's on Amazon. It's on Amazon, Contract Life, Contract Wife. And basically it's saying to yourself that every time is not the right time. You got to know when. You got to know, You got to learn the people that's in front of you. If I know that you're this type of person and at 2:00 you this type of way and at 7:00 you this type of way, then I'm gonna have my conversation with you at 7 because I know you're more receptive at 7 than me just having to get out what I gotta say at 2. If it's so important what I have to say at 2, I'm gonna get a better reception from you at 7. If it's so important, I could wait. It's knowing the battles. You got to choose your battles. Everything. Come on now. Like, how old are we? We're not getting any younger. Stress is going to kill us. Hypertension going to kill us. All of this stuff is going to kill us. Pick your battles. Like, everything ain't worth fighting over. Everything ain't worth fighting for.
That's a real place. So now, where are you at with love, life, and happiness?
I'm happy.
So, okay, look at the bag yourself.
No, I have a person in my life that I've known for like 30 years, and they've been trying to get with me for 15, and I had to see the growth in them, and I saw the growth, and I decided to give it a chance. And, you know, I receive love in abundance, and I give love as I receive it. And I was the type of person that wasn't affectionate. I wasn't emotional. And because of what's poured into me, I'm able to give that back.
So now my thing with you is that you definitely dated some very high profile individuals, right? Are you still going along that track, or have you decided that you was just going to deal with someone who was regular, contract wife?
I dated high profile individuals because that's all that I was around, right? That was my life.
I said she a gold digger. She ain't broke. She ain't messing with no bro.
You know, and a lot of the men in my life, I've helped them.
I'm not saying
you understand what I'm saying?
I'm not saying that you dig for gold either, because
no,
I watched you.
Yeah.
So yes. I'm getting to my point. Is this another high profile individual, or are we down to dating regular guy? Because I don't know no more.
Isn't high profile just an individual?
So are we saying, all right,
he's just an individual.
One thing that I think is important.
So she's messing with another baby.
He's just an individual.
Before we
just
get
an
here,
individual.
I do want to.
Individual what?
Well, the thing is, before we go there, I want to just go back and acknowledge, right? Healing for everyone is different.
Yeah.
You know, and somewhere there is a woman who moves like you, who needs to see this so she understands. Like,
right.
You have come before her so she can watch you. Somebody that she identifies with. And, you know, even sometimes, you know, when you're in these spaces, like, as for me, I have reservations, because it's like, if I'm not dating publicly, then it seems like I haven't healed, or I'm not dating. It's like I just don't want to be defined by a relationship, because no one ever knew I dated him before I did TV. It wasn't a thing for me to let people know. If you knew me, then you just knew. And I feel like
I agree.
Sometimes I deal with that as work.
Yes, no, I agree. But listen, one of the reasons why I said I healed in the process of going through it is because I wasn't the disgruntled baby mother or ex-wife. I was the baby mother ex-wife that said, "Did you call your father today? Call your father. Yeah. Did you speak to your father? Call your father." If he didn't send a gift, I still put his name on a gift. You know, I still invited him to everything she had going on. I still dealt with him, and I just felt like it got to the age where she was old enough where I didn't need to talk to him anymore. But until she was 18 years old, I still made sure, whether he did or he didn't, or whatever me and him went through, I made sure he was in her life until she was 18 years old and enough to make her own decision. So that healed me, knowing that I had to put my child first.
That healed you?
Yeah.
Honey, that was making me mad as shit. Because I got to put your name on the gift, because you can't put the gift of baby. But all right.
But see, those people who feel that way would never have done it.
That's a lot. It's called strong woman, right? Strong woman. And that you are. So I just say, I implore you to really, 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 really just love on yourself and continue that journey, because you loved on so many others for so long. So we in this thing together. We gonna heal together. We gonna love together. I want you to join our community, because so y'all gonna be able to ask me some questions. We gonna hold you accountable, because you got the shirt now.
Yes.
Anybody that get the shirt, right? We will hold you accountable to loving yourself more. There's so much more to talk about. So let's continue this conversation at BlackWomen'sLivesMatter.com. We got a lot more to go, with just stuff that we're doing, healing, feeling, and all of that. But now it's time to pay the bills. Here's a word from our sponsors. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Dr. JamilaTDavis, and I got a special offer for you, right? It's my gift from me to you. You want to level up? You want to manifest the life of your dreams? Well, I'm going to give you a piece of the plan, right? It starts with my Manifested Now vision plan. So follow me. It's actually the template that I use each and every year to get into my goals, my dreams. And unlike a vision board, I actually put this document on paper with goals and dreams and plans of who I want to be and what I want to become. And now you could do it too. It's time to level up, y'all. It's time to be the best you that you can possibly be. And I'm going to give you the plan. And best of all, I'm going to give it to you for free. Click the link right here. Download today and level up. Make sure you share the results with me. This is the exact plan that I've been doing for the last 4 years. And each and every year is taking me higher and higher. And I pray it does the same for you.
Welcome back to the I Love Me More podcast, and it is now time for you know what? The I Love Me More lightning round.
Let's get it.
Meda.
Yes.
The I Love Me More lightning round. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. You have a few seconds to answer. Okay? Now, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is your hidden talent?
Head.
I'm just kidding.
Yo, look, boy, I'm a bad. That's it.
No, you wouldn't do that again.
I just started saying, I was kidding. But that's good. That's good. All of the things are doing all these things. I didn't know.
Okay. Let's try to get it.
It's really not lying.
What is your hidden talent?
Making people feel big about themselves.
All right. If you're in a car and you got a gun, the cops pull you over. Who you calling?
My daughter.
And name one of the craziest things that's ever happened in your life.
Well, that would be when I picked up the phone and someone told me that my best friend had slept with my husband.
We didn't even talk about that, but keep going, keep going.
What was the other? I mean, is it even?
I was there for that too.
Is it even important? What was my next question? A movie that makes you cry.
Armageddon.
What Armageddon?
Because they're trying to save the world. Something I try to do every day.
Wow.
I can relate.
Baby, this episode and this one over here.
You know, like I know we healed, right? And we healing. We're healing.
Still.
Because we all
I know we are healing.
Some stuff.
But you know, but sometimes is that one person we may have to choke out and then we fully healed.
Yes.
No, I'm just
right?
joking. No, I'm just joking. I was just joking.
I mean,
the best friend from two. Like,
right.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
Seem like that type of a person. So, but for another day, you coming back?
Of course.
Join us in the community, y'all. We can continue this. This is one of those ones where we want to continue because we still got some stories.
A lot.
Even scratching the surface of some of the things that we witnessed on each other's toxic relationships, right? But I'm glad that we're in the space that we're older, we're wiser, and we're better.
Yes, definitely.
But also that we can look on some of this. I know it looks like we're laughing because there's some form of healing that's happening and we're looking back on it. But, you know, I think that shows a sign of growth that we're not crying still.
I'm all cried out, girl.
All cried out.
Cried out.
Over you.
I'm crying out to you.
So, for all of our listeners and viewers who are inspired by your story and want to learn more, please tell us where we can reach you.
Yes, you can find me at Meda.Wonderwoman, MEDA.WONDAWOMAN, Meda.Wonderwoman.
Okay. So y'all stay in touch with her there. And you can also find her in our community. Love on yourself, care on yourself. Make sure you like, subscribe, get your new shirt because we got it in white now. I love me more. It's the affirmation we're wearing. And join us in our community at www. Black Women's Lives Matter. We're signing off. Till next time. See you soon.
See y'all later.
I'm busy loving myself, putting me first. Now that I know I deserve more, I'm busy loving myself, putting me first.